Hey everyone, today we're going to explore the get data function from the Excel. Get data function used to call get transform is mainly focusing on getting data from somewhere. The place can be within Excel, another Excel, or some other place that is a repository of information. So it's very dynamic because that can help you set up the workflow very easily. Here in the Excel, is not that direct, it's a little bit subtle, because if you try to get something out of the, for example, data section, this is the get data section you're going to go into, and when you expand that, you have multiple choice, choose from different source. It can be a single repository, which may be a permanent place of your data. For example, PDF is not good for data ingestion. Folder can be sorted by, say, putting multiple files into a folder in the same structure. Same structure, I'm saying the same attribute. Excel is just one single work. This is a CSV. Most time you download from a system, you don't have the CSV format. Or you can choose connect to the database directly, which will help you read things easily. Or you have the Azure or other platform. Some technique you can use other sources, for example, the ODBC, Open Database Connection. If you click this one, it will pop up a window. This window is telling you, okay, from ODBC, what kind of data source name you have. This is actually related to if we open this ODBC, or use the connector, you'll have this kind of installed. I have installed two connectors. First one is Google BigQuery by Simba. Second one is Snowflake. If we jump back to this, you click this, I can see the BigQuery one. So for the BigQuery, you can use the advanced option to select everything from table where 1 equals to 1. You have these things ready, or you say, okay, I don't want to use SQL to get my things. I'm just going to use Power Query to get the table loaded. So that's totally fine. You can collapse this one, just click OK to proceed. Once you click OK, it will jump into BigQuery. Based on connector that I have installed this Simba ODBC driver for Google BigQuery, I'm able to talk to BigQuery via with the help of that connector. And you can see I have two data sets. The first one is database intro. I have several tables. You can see tables. And these two tables together means it's a view, which is very intuitive and vivid. This one you can see I have 4 tables and 4 views. And then you can have a preview either of the view or the tables. Then you have the option over the bottom to say if you want transform the data or load that. This one, which is focusing on how to get things out of the data function through the Power Query. Okay, we can cancel this. Most of the time, you may not have the authority to get things out of your database. So most of the time, you're going to use the get file option. This file, depending on your workflow, you're going to have a thought about saying you want to get it into a single file or get it into multiple files. Batch framework always do things in batch. So you're going to consider this option quite often, which is from folders. From folder means that, for example, if you have a day 1 downloaded data, day 2 downloaded data, day 3 downloaded data, you know that they will carry the same format, say name A, B, and for each of the individual CSV, you'll carry the exact same format with the same amount of column, same column name convention. And then they may have different rows. This is 1,000 rows. And this day you have a better cells, you have 1,500 rows. The day 3 is pretty bad. You'll have to 800 rows. Since they carry the same format, you can easily use Power Query to get data from file, from folder, to read everything from this folder to help you combine and ingest those data into Power Query. And then we do the transformation through the Power Query, and you can output them into just one combined file. With this combined, you can either have a pivot table or pivot chart, or you can just load it as a tabular table. It's up to you. But here you can see the data flow. You have a folder over here. You have the Power Query here as your data editor, ingest and processor. And then you have this output back to Excel. So holding up this connection is pretty important because during this process, what you have done ETL. you load the data into Power Query, you do the transformation into Power Query, and then you load back into Excel. Then you present that into insights, either pivot table, pivot chart. So just be aware of that kind of workflow. Workflow is pretty important when you design a thing that for long-term benefits. I don't like to design things for a very short period, because short period means obsolete, means rush, means error prone. You can't control everything. In the long term, I'm tempted to design something that can last. I hope you guys enjoy, and see you guys in the next one.